iyaye maza suna kin sa mata lakwal. Kuma ana yi ma yara aure wanda ba su isa aure ba.
If you are married, you no more a child. At age of 13 or 15, if she get married, school is finished for her.
It also affects her health because she's very likely to get pregnant at a very young age. We have really, really strong programs to help bring the girls out of this difficult situation.
Nigerians they're so used to living life on hard mode.
Oh, so it's
that it doesn't really bother.
So the pain has been normalized.
Completely normalized.
It's dangerous.
Extremely, very much so, which is why some of these narratives that you often hear about how Nigerians are resilient, I don't think those things are a good thing. I don't take it as a compliment when someone says Nigerians are resilient. Mm-hmm. Because resilient is a euphemism. You're basically saying Nigerians know how to suffer.
The daily unmeasured sorrows and deep sadness for Nigeria's children. In the daily events and life activities going on in Nigeria, children are neglected and sorrowfully uncared for, and most of these children are deeply in sorrows. The untold deep mental and physical suffering of immense proportion of sadness are in the lives of majority of the Nigerian children. Scholars all over the world agree and assert to this. It can also be said, based on documented facts, that many children in Nigeria all over the country suffer from grief, anguishness, regrets, disappointments, pain, remorse, or missed opportunities caused by the country's political and religious leaders, from local government, state government to federal government, and even by parents. Since the 1960s to present day, 2026, this has been going on. This epidemic, or should one say pandemic, of stealing Nigerian children's lives is recorded in all facets of their lives and living, even if their parents are rich or of middle class or poor. Based on information on UNICEF records, U.S. Department of Labor and other sources of information, says that Nigerian children suffer from high impacts of extreme poverty, food insecurity, armed conflicts, terrorism, acute rate of malnutrition, widespread of conflicts, widespread of preventable diseases, high rate of infant-child mortality, and massive rate of educational disruptions, kidnapping for ransom, murder, low hygiene, environmental and climate shocks. Nigeria's children, according to UNICEF USA, stated in their documentary that there is large problems of treatable causes of malaria, pneumonia, diarrhea, diseases, and child deaths due to lack of clean and safe water. Unsafe sanitation methods are among the highest in Africa. Children in the northern Nigerian area are facing worsening humanitarian crisis due to the ongoing terrorism from Islamic State of West Africa, bandits, and Boko Haram terrorists. Nigerian children are highly impacted by extreme poverty, general food insecurity, conflict and terrorism, severe malnutrition, widespread death from preventable diseases, lack of access to basic education, and safety as well. It is important to note this. Everybody in Nigeria should notice this. You don't need to go a distance. Just walk into one village or rural area in Nigeria, even in the inner cities of Lagos and other places. Nigeria, according to UNICEF, have second highest burden of stunted children due to acute severe malnutrition. And this reduces both mental and cognitive and physical developmental growth among Nigerian children. Conflict violence exposing children mostly in the northwest, northeast, north central, and now entering into the southwest region and in the southeast and south-south. Many regions are local kidnapping of children for rituals and to hurt their selective parents. That's what happens in the southeast and south-south. Children are displaced easily and exposed to severe protection risks and trauma and abuse, and so no safety net for children. Typical example of such is the recent kidnapping of school children because of lack of security and their teachers from the classroom and in Oyo State, and some are dead now. This is what is obtainable all over the north and many parts of the west today. Children go out. Some of them don't come home because they have been tampered with by either money rituals, occultic rituals in the southeast and south-south, or sold into sex slavery. It is obtainable and abuses that the children of Nigeria are going through. They are truncated with lots of mind-boggling and heart-holding problems. Talk less of other things like lack of health care, poor hygiene, and poor and low immunization, vaccination in many rural places, especially conflict zones, are inadequately served or done at all. Diseases outbreaks could be preventable if proper vaccination and immunization is allowed. Religious bigotry by some parts of the north prevents children, and religious belief and custom beliefs prevent some children from being immunized or getting the adequate health care they need. No adequate clean water or sanitary facilities for children, and that causes disease outbreak. And these diseases are preventable. In so many villages, there is no water, drinking water, or water to be used for bath. No appropriate clothing for the children. No appropriate sleeping places. Their homes are tattered and right now being bombarded by Islamic bombarded and burnt by terrorists and bandits. Educational problems working against millions of Nigerian children at a very high level. Child labor, street hawking, and begging for food and money is rampant everywhere. Mass school kidnapping in many areas in the north and now southwest. Mass unemployment of parents. Infrastructural dilapidation of many schools have caused a lot of issues for school attendance. And many schools have no roofs or walls anymore. And government neglect, especially in rural areas and inner cities, where the poor masses dwell in horror. School materials and lack of implementation of budgets by authorities, even to pay school teachers salaries by governments, local, state, and federal, is a very serious issue. And this allows many teachers to leave classrooms or even abscond from school, go away from teaching profession to look for livelihood elsewhere. Girl child suffers worse abuse ranging from rape, early marriages, and pregnancy. And some are in the extreme part, going into prostitution for food and basic needs. Kidnapped children, many often, especially the adolescents, the 14, 15, 10, 12, are forced into unsafe marriages in many cultures in the north. Cultural and traditional issues affect most children very negatively. In some instances, they are sent early to be babysitters, even as early as 4 years, and house help to relatives and to unknown families who pay their parents money for their parents' welfare and care of their numerous siblings who are children too. Early apprenticeships by both the boys and the girls to learn some trade with little or no education. And this generates lots of ignorance, even though it is highly approved by the Southeasterners. In fact, ignorant genital mutilation of children, which is highly known in the culture as cleansing in many places, encompasses everything. In the southeast, south, all parts of Nigeria, they are practicing genital mutilation, both in secrecy and otherwise. Ill things happen. Children are sold into families to be adopted as children. Many parents who lack children, who couldn't produce their own babies, go in the market to buy it from doctors who can sell it to them or midwives. All these things create mind-boggling situation and fear to parents and children. Especially the genital mutilation creates a very impactful infection and diseases and illnesses in children. The girl child most of the time. In many parts of the country, children are left alone to care for themselves. while their parents and mothers are out of the home, either unemployed or doing makeshift trading or jobs to barely take care of their children. Some parents beg relatives to take their children into housemates and household boys. Most of these children are abused sexually and culturally and cultured into ritualism and occultic things, satanic things, and things they cannot explain. Children are often hired by adults of relatives to be working as run mates. What I mean by that is to be running for getting men for sexual prostitution to get money and for their auntie. It is rampant in inner cities. Older women or men go to villages, recruit younger women under the age of 18 or 20 to run around for men and making money and accounting to their aunts and their relatives. And children, especially in the north, are largely subject to reading the Quran and no proper schooling. It's even worse now. Boko Haram has a policy of education is useless. Every child, many parents are now forcing their children to only read Quran. It did not start now. This has been a policy in the north for a long time that brought about a lot of uneducated people who knows the Quran and they can't not read or write properly or stand in modern world. It could have been better to combine both. And families that combine both schooling and Quran reading are better off citizens of today and are not suffering or being harassed anyhow. Though in the East, back in a day, it was the same thing. Children were coming out of school, brought to school to do mainly Sunday reading of Bibles or Sunday churches to pray in their Christian ways, which was a lot of neglect. But some parents managed to put both together. So, terrorism and kidnapping for either ransom or religious forceful conversion to Islam and making parents to keep children away from rural schools in the north. Parents are equally afraid for their own lives and themselves are equally vulnerable to being kidnapped or murdered or raped over these kidnapping problems. And take, for example, the kidnapping in Oyo State and many other parts of the country are largely in the country, in the north especially, and now in the west, whereby children and their teachers were kidnapped. Some of them are dead now. And since that, there is no instability in schools in the region, like Kwara, Kaduna, Plateau states, Adamawa states, Zamfara state, Sokoto state, Borno state, Kebbi state, and many other parts of the north, central, and core north and northwest. In the west now, it is also coming in. In Oyo State, parents are very uncomfortable sending their children to school because of terrorism. Who knows when it will happen? Recently, a mother of one of the ex-ministers' sister and the children were kidnapped, even though they have been released based on whatever the practice there in Nigeria of big man and small man. But the children in captivity from Oyo State schools are not yet taken care of and released. And terrorists are putting demands on government, which is scaring children and parents away from schools and streets. And many schools have closed completely, and children are stuck, not knowing where their future is going. And when girls are kidnapped, they are forced to convert to Islam by Boko Haram and their own style, and many are forced to marry older men. The Chibok girls is a typical example, and many others since that time that the Nigerian government has ignored. Parents are equally afraid of their own future. The government looks away as if nothing is happening, incident after incident. Instead, government will start distributing few boxes of noodles, rice, and few packages of food to parents that their families and children have been kidnapped. Often these donations or gifts are portrayed as political posturing. The current APC party government in office of President Bola Tinubu, like his two predecessors, Jonathan Goodluck and President Mahmoud Buhari, had no clue. Up till now, there is no clue to kidnapping and abuses to Nigerian children. No records is shown. Where there are budgets, the budgets are confiscated for education and health, and you won't see them in the lives of the people, especially in rural areas. And there is no solution to the children suffering throughout Nigeria. Even in some states, their governors make one project and they take children, scout children to go visit, using it as a political posturing, like building of a flyover bridge or building of tunnels or whatever they do. They use children to posture politically, and that is very bad and dangerous. With this rate of children out of school, that forms a recruitment for terrorism. That's why most of the terrorist kids captured these days say that they were forced into it. And you see most of them are children. And if this continues, it will be really bad for a nation like Nigeria. It is very, very important that government looks into the sorrows, daily sorrows, and deep sadness of Nigerian children. There are a lot of materials from UNICEF and other agencies that can give government in hand what to do. Rebuild schools, make schools comfortable, save the children through security, build their hospitals and local clinics, employ local nurses and pay teachers their salaries, and create safety network for children all over Nigeria, because they are not safe. And that's why most of them become miscreants when they grow up. When they get into government with a little education, they become corrupt like their parents. And that's why children of the 60s and 70s cannot account to what they benefited from government. Many of them slag back to what they know. Corruption, scamming at the higher level for money, ritualism, morals, and now high level of recruitment into terrorism, ransom kidnapping. Please, this is all we have for you now. Please subscribe, press the thumb button, and spread this word to everybody by sharing, so that we can start putting a solution to the sorrows and deep sadness and depression of Nigerian child, which is not expressed by anyone except them, inside them. It's a psychological trauma, and it is a physical and mental illness for them. Thank you.